Hola! Y'all, I just thought that I was recording this video for like 15 minutes and I was not. And I was trying to figure out why I was having such a hard time reading the energy, why the cards wouldn't communicate to me. The spirits weren't communicating effectively and the video wasn't running. So, just to catch up with myself, like I was intending to say to you guys before in my previous unrecorded video, welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I thought the other day that I was going to end my 2023 VMA'S series with Nicki Minaj, but I lied. I am going to circle back and spin the block back to Tiffany Haddish. I will leave out some of the things that I said in my previous video so as to not offend or upset her ancestors so that they won't talk to me. I did a reading on her before as it relates to Aries Spears, and I was never going to read her again, but she was at the VMAs, and she had some antics surrounding her, so I am going to read Tiffany Haddish today, and I'm actually kind of glad that the other video wasn't recording because I want to reapproach this. I am going to re-cleanse my hands this time. I hope all of you watching this video are doing well, that you're in good health, health of your body, health of your mind, health of your emotions and your spirit, health in your finances, health in your love lives, health in your children and your families, prosperity and abundance, abundant harvest this incoming fall season. That is what I speak on everyone who is in earshot of these words. All right, without further ado, I've already rang my bell and I'm going to ring it again because the first time it felt like it was going to fall out of my fingers. So I am going to approach this like I did my other readings in my VMA series, and I'm going to call up the person's, Tiffany Haddish's ancestors, in order to protect her while I'm reading her. Let's try this thing again. Tiffany Haddish, that's much better. Tiffany Haddish, may I speak to the ancestors of Tiffany Haddish, the ancestors that love, protect, and guide Tiffany Haddish. I welcome you here to protect her as I read her energy. Ashe and amen. And now I would like to call up the energy of Tiffany Haddish. And instead of asking about her energies at the VMAs, I'm just going to ask Tiffany Haddish, what is currently going on around you right now? Everybody talked about your antics and how you were acting at the VMAs, very extra. And for some, that's on brand for you, but I'm always curious as to why that is your brand. What is the current energy surrounding you, Tiffany Haddish, from the VMAs up until now? Okay. All right. Tiffany Haddish coming out to the VMAs was like her first time coming out to like a public Hollywood event after a long time. She's been kind of laying low previous to the VMAs, getting over her heartbreak, getting over I won't say getting over embarrassment surrounding her scandal with those children, her having to settle with those children that accuse her of being involved in their sexual abuse. Her and Aries Spears, yeah. She's been laying low due to that and trying to get over her heartbreak of Common. She really liked him, but he really could not get past all the things that he was hearing that she was involved with after they got together. He liked her too, but once he got with her and the relationship commenced, and that lawsuit that was against her started to become louder, the chatter surrounding it became louder, because at first, when he first got together, he didn't know much about it, but then it came nearer and nearer to the time where it had to be addressed. And even before then, he had been hearing from his friends, his Hollywood circle. He's been in Hollywood longer than her, and a lot of people, a lot of his friends don't like her, don't mess with her. And they would tell him things that she necessarily never told him up front. And that bothered him, because he felt like, if it wasn't what you say it is, why didn't you tell me up front? Why was it something that didn't seem like was a big deal to you for you not to tell me when we first got together, when this is a big deal? And as he started finding out more things, especially finding out that she settled instead of fighting it, that was enough for him. He knows what goes on in Hollywood. Finding out that she was a part of that, he had to get as far away from that as possible with the quickness. So she's looking at it as the heartbreak of her life, which I see it is with this card. But she's been laying low, dealing with that heartbreak, that loss of Common, and also having to lay low while that situation kind of blows over. So coming to the VMAs for her was, I'm going to step out, get dressed up. This is my first time being to a formal event for a while. So I'm finna get dressed up and do me, and, in her voice, have me some fun, do a little extracurricular activity to get herself all hype, have a few drinks and whatever else she likes to do in Hollywood, allegedly. That was that moment for her. This Chariot in reverse, after her coming out, after, like I just mentioned, that situation, having to overcome that settlement. The VMAs was also like testing the water to see if her career, if she's ready to come back out on the scene after having to lay low. And I say having to lay low because it was very intentional from her team, her lawyers, her PR. In order to save her career, you got to lay low, let this blow over. And look what's on the bottom: children. She doesn't know if her career can recover from that. So coming out to the VMAs was like testing to see people's response to her. Her being in the cameras like she was, and the antics that she was going through, was her testing to see if the Tiffany Haddish brand as we knew it before, her being loud, ghetto, ratchet, because that's what people knew her for and liked her for. But they're trying to test the waters to see if her brand as we knew it before, that same Tiffany Haddish, can come back, or she has to go back in hiding and they need to go back and regroup and figure out something else. Because for some reason they want to recoup her. There's still a chance for her to be valuable and useful. So this was an opportunity to see if and how, or if or how they can bring her back from the recent scandals that she's been going through. Putting her out there the way we know Tiffany Haddish was trying to see how we would receive her, if we would be able to receive that Tiffany Haddish. Because if after the VMAs, because that's typically how she acts, that's how we know her to act. So, they look at the comments and the blogs and stuff like that to see how people are receptive to that. If they're receptive enough, they can continue with Girls Trip 2, because that's what they want to do. They want to pick up where they left off with that. But if people ain't feeling her like that no more, especially feeling her with her same obnoxious, rambunctious brand that she used to have, they will have to continue to scrap Girls Trip 2. Even once the writer's strike settles, they won't be able to put it out. And what the problem with that is, they've already filmed so much. So it's like they would have to, they filmed everybody else's scenes, or enough of the scenes that they could do with everyone else without her. All they have to do is go back and film the scenes that they're supposed to film with her. Or if these test runs with her to see how people receive her don't go well, they'll plug somebody else in. But they're trying to see if they can salvage her career because of what? On the bottom of the deck, the children. Let's see here. Here, they want to know if people are over it, if are over the scandal. Because people still want to work with her in Hollywood, in the industry. And but they're not sure if they should go forward with a lot of the projects or plans that they have for her. A lot of people on the bottom of the deck, a lot of people still won't fuck with her. I'm sorry, YouTube. A lot of people still won't mess with her. Do not like her, will not like her. A lot of people, because of some of the things that she's still involved in, a lot of people don't want to get involved in that. A lot of people don't want to get involved in that part of Hollywood. There's so many underbelly things going on in Hollywood that you can be involved with. And a lot of the black celebs in Hollywood don't want to get into that. They'll do other stuff, but they won't do that, what she does, allegedly. So a lot of brown folk in Hollywood don't mess with her. They don't like her brand. A lot of the more upper class Hollywood, black Hollywood, the more bourgeoisie, the more black boule in Hollywood, her brand is beneath them, first of all. But start there. For a lot of them, her brand is beneath them. But then the stuff that because everybody has to get involved in something to stay on. And you know what I mean by stay on in Hollywood. But her route is the route that a lot of them refuse to go, which is why a lot of them can never pass a certain threshold. Tiffany wants to pass that threshold, allegedly, which is why certain people are still willing to try to salvage a working career with her. They're not sure, though, how it's going to work out, but they're still going to try because she was willing to go that route, the route that a lot of people aren't desperate enough to go in order to be permanent A-list. Some people are okay with being permanent B-list or C-list, but to be permanent A-list, the status that Tiffany Haddish wants, allegedly, like in her last video, so that she never has to be poor again, she's willing to do it. What is this King of Cups? And then the Queen of Cups reverse. And then this. I think that Tiffany, at the VMA'S, they offer a lot. I heard somebody that attended say that shots are unlimited, champagne is unlimited, like the liquor, the alcohol is unlimited. And I think that in order for Tiffany to come out at this event after what she's been going through, which is why she's been laying low, whatever was offered to her, she took it. I also saw that another celebrity, allegedly, Megan, she was turning stuff down. I think, I wanted to say she was drunk. She might have been, or she was turning stuff down so that she don't get drunk around other people, so that they can have stuff to say about her. I actually think now that she was turning stuff down because she wasn't comfortable at the VMAs and she kind of wanted to stay alert. But I think everything that they offered Tiffany, she took it. She was drunk, and she got drunk because I think her intention was to try to not be loud and rambunctious and to not say things, kind of to lay low. But she was so nervous about being out again, she got drunk, and I think it had the opposite effect. I would like to say See, the cards on the bottom of the deck are so nasty. Yeah, for some reason she was trying to be restrained that night, but because she wants her star power back, she wants that fame back, and that's the only reason she went. But she got drunk and had the opposite effect. She got drunk and still went there and did what she was trying not to do. And by the time she started, she was like, man, bump it. Might as well make the best out of it. So then she got performative and started acting. I think her intentions when she went there is to try to be a more reserved and restrained Tiffany Haddish and to be very classy and ladylike. But her nerves were so bad when she went there. She got drunk. She just started taking everything that was offered to her. And then she got that liquor in her system. And then the old Tiffany Haddish came out. And by then she was like, well, F it. I'm already here now. So I might as well just go ahead and not worry about, you know, trying to be restrained now. I might as well. Because once she got that liquor and whatever else in her system with this devil cards, she knew that she had already started embarrassing herself. So she might as well just go ahead and completely make a fool of herself. It's almost like I tried to be something I'm not and I failed. So now I might as well self-sabotage and be the worst version of myself possible. Because she was drunk. Yeah. All right. Well, that was her energy at the VMAs, and I kind of went into a little bit of more her energy with that Four of Cups in reverse. A lot came out of that I wasn't expecting about what she's been going through and why she's been laying low. I want to ask, will Tiffany Haddish's career take a turn for the better? Because if it does, I know that some things would have had to go down behind the scenes. Like, it's a lot for them to clean her up. Because a lot of people are not messing with her after that situation. And I think they saw that after this, especially after how she self-sabotaged herself. What is the future for Tiffany Haddish's career? Will her career be able to improve after the VMAs, after the scandal? Will her career improve? Will they find a way for her to thrive in Hollywood again like her past trajectory was? Because by all means, she was on the path to straight to the top. That's what they wanted for her. Tiffany is doing what she needs to do to be welcomed back into the fold behind the scenes. Because this is Judgment card. This is a major arcana. And there is an archangel on this card, even though the face is gone. I'm sorry, y'all. But she's doing behind the scenes, allegedly, the rituals. The rituals. That's what I get from this card. That she needs to do in order to get back into the fold. The spiritual rituals and the physical rituals and activities that she needs to do to get back. She's doing those things in order for her to be successful. She's doing the things and to have her past put behind her. So I would like to say that there's a good chance that Tiffany Haddish will be able to be around for a while. They will find, it's like they will force her on the people because she's doing everything behind the scenes that's required of her to be famous, long-lasting famous, and to put all of her past obstacles regarding those children specifically behind her. This is what she wants in regards to putting that past, that scandal behind her with the children, to come back from the brinks of her career being destroyed. This is old money. This is allegedly, this is that Jewish money. That's what's going to bring her back, her affiliation with the Jewish community. Because behind the scenes, they are the ones who can clear things up for her. That old Jewish money, that community. She wouldn't be able to do it without them. Before her affiliation, she would have been out in the cold because of that scandal. It would have ruined her. She had to align with her father's Jewish heritage. They're the ones who will be able to clean it up. But what are these things that she's doing behind the scenes to get back with the Judgment card? The Two of Cups, the passing of a cup. This feels like allegedly some sort of old Jewish ritual. I see like an old goblet or chalice of something being passed in between two people that they both have to partake in. Old Jewish rituals, dark rituals. I want to say that possibly in these chalices are blood. Like a priest partakes and then she partakes, or the initiate, the neophyte. The priest allegedly partakes and then the initiate partakes. And this is a dark magic ritual. In order to be in the fold, to become one of them, to claim the heritage, to claim like a birthright, like something that belongs to her. She has to go through this ritual in order to claim her spot, like her Jewish ancestry. If she didn't do this, there would be no other way. You can't get no help. There will be no other way. You'll lose everything in this. If you want the protection, the Empress. Who is this? Her mother? Okay. Because her mother isn't a part of that ancestry. So whatever ritual she did, it's because of her father's ancestry that she can even do this. And it's almost like you have to depart from your mother. Not just your mother, but like her American, there's a word that they use, Goyim. That's what the mother's bloodline is. You can't be a part of your mother's bloodline. If it were like if your mother, it's almost like she has to do the ritual because her mother wasn't Jewish. It was her father. It's like if it was her mother that was Jewish, because I think it's passed down through the mother, then she wouldn't have had to do the ritual. But because it was her father, she had to do it. Let me see. Yes, because when I was saying her mother wasn't Jewish, that's why she had to do it, because their belief, it's their religion, it's their tradition that it has to come through the mother's bloodline. She would have to be born Jewish from her mother's bloodline. according to their tradition. So she had to do the ritual. I believe that that is partaking in blood, I believe. This is her receiving the cup again. I'm looking into this Two of Cups. It being passed from the male to the female. That's Tiffany. I don't know what her sign is. I don't know if she's a water sign, but anyway, that's her. She received the cup. It's like after everybody else has already been instructed to take their sip, then it's her turn. It's like the cup is passed around, and then it's her turn. And if she doesn't do it, though, she has to drink it. If she doesn't, I think something could happen to her. All the knives that are being held could be for her. Because of this ritual, it's so ancient, it's so powerful, it's so protected, it's so secretive, that like once you get to that point where you're there and you're allowed to partake in it, if you don't, you die. I think it allegedly, it feels like there's some rule where if you have to partake of it once you get there, and if you change your mind, if you decide not to, everyone there is holding a dagger, and then everyone, you know, gets to. Because after everything you did, in order to get to this point here, to do it, to be able to do this ritual, no one changes their mind and decides to go back, because the Six of Swords reversed, if they go backwards, if they change their mind, this is what's going to happen. Behind that Six of Swords reversed, those daggers. Once you get to that point, you got to go through with it. You can't get scared and get cold feet and say you don't want to do it anymore. That's what happens during this ritual. So she had to, and she did, drink from the cup, allegedly. Allegedly. At that point, she had no other choice. There's those swords again, because she knew what would happen if she didn't. More swords. Tower. She did it. And for her, not only did she do it, but I want to say as soon as the taste hit her mouth, it was just like repulsive to her. But not only was it repulsive, because this was a spiritual ritual, as soon as she drank, the entity, something happened to her metaphysically. The power hit her. The power hit her instantly as soon as she began to drink. At first, it was repulsion because of the taste, all that iron. But then the spirit began to enter her psyche, and it hit her out of nowhere. She was holding a dagger too, because like I said, everybody had a dagger, and whoever, if anybody there, like any of the new initiates, changed their mind, everybody there was instructed to stab. When it hit her body, and she started to lose control of the convulsions, lose control of her body, she dropped her dagger. As soon as it entered her body, she dropped her dagger and fell on the floor. Everyone there, or some of the people there, had to help her up, help her recover after whatever experience drinking that blood gave her. They had to help her up. They had to help pick her up. off the floor. This is her after she had drank, until she recovered her strength. Because of that, I see convulsions and struggling with the spirit that was entering her body. They had to pick her up off the floor after she drank. She didn't even make it all the way through her cup. She didn't even make it all the way through that cup until she regained her strength. After the spirit had finished convulsing her and kind of let her loose, once it settled in, she knew that everything would be okay, that her court case would be okay, that everything for her, she knew she was in. She knew she was in. But she was still a little bit paranoid, because like after that you go home and you don't know what's going to happen next. She knew she was in, but she wasn't sure what was going to happen next. She knew they were going to help, but she wasn't sure how it was going to happen. She was just waiting for things to be worked out, because she definitely didn't have the money to pay for the attorney that she got. The attorney that represented Prince Andrew. She knew it'd be worked out, even though she didn't have the money to pay for her defense. Not by herself, not without their help, but she knew it would be worked out. She was expecting them to come out from the woodworks out of nowhere and kind of just sweep in to save the day. She knew it would be somebody that wouldn't say anything to her, that it would kind of just be like somebody would come out of nowhere and be like, surprise, it's handled, I'm here. While she was waiting for it to be worked out, she hadn't really heard back. It wasn't like after that ritual, you meet up with them the next day and they're like, okay, boom, this is what's gonna happen. Afterwards, everything goes back to normal. It goes ghost, as if nothing ever happened. She hadn't heard anything from anyone, so she was just waiting. She wasn't sure. She hadn't heard from the people who she was expecting the ritual to take place, and boom, I'm gonna hear it, but it didn't happen that way. She didn't communicate with anyone at first, but then they came in. They came in and saved the day, like they said they were gonna do. Like she knew they were gonna do. Look, lawyers came in out of nowhere. She didn't have to call nobody. Look, she didn't have to call nobody. She didn't have to say a word. They came out of the shadows, like I said, just came out of the shadows, out of the woodworks, and came and saved the day. And her case settled. Her case about the abuse of children. So now she can come back out and see how she can come back out with her career and recover her career. Because now she's got the power, the man behind her. After doing her ritual, she wasn't sure if it'd be successful, but yes, it worked, Tiffany. It worked for you. Now she's got powerful men behind the scenes working on behalf of her, because now she's one of them. She's drank the blood. She's drank the blood. Whatever happened to her in the past, small thing to a giant. Small obstacle taken care of. No longer a hindrance to her, and she can try to put it past her, put it behind her. It's done. Once she paid them that money, it was done. A wrap. Yeah, now it's time to move on. All right, well, that was me closing out. Tiffany Haddish allegedly can expect to start easing her way back into the fold of things because allegedly she's one of them. She has done the old Jewish ritual that she had to do to be a part of that part of Hollywood, the super, super, super elite protected. She went straight for the top, did what she had to do, is still doing what she has to do. She's done the dark ritual, the old ancient Jewish dark ritual, allegedly. She drank from the chalice. She let the spirit, the entity, the power take over her. And everything worked out after that in her favor, and it will continue to do so. With that being said, thank you to the ancestors of Tiffany Haddish for allowing me to read her energy. I dismiss you in peace. Ashe, amen, and blessings to you all. Bye.